porcelainized style is probably one of the styles I really enjoy doing. It's classic, it's almost like painting on canvas or on wood, but painting on fabric is always easier. I always tell my students, start painting on fabric. It allows you to correct more mistakes, whereas on canvas or wood, it's more difficult. On my palette, remember I showed you how to prepare the wet palette. I've put different greens, different reds, my fabric diluent, and white. Now the reason why I have different greens here, light ones, medium ones, and very dark ones, it's because I want to bring the paint forward or backwards. Putting dark, I push it backwards. Putting light, I bring it forward. And the white, of course, to then bring up all the colors. Let's do it. So I'm going to start with a medium green. I can use the diluent if I want to, just a little bit. And I fill in. Some of you might be saying, why can't you start with the dark one? I can't and I mustn't, otherwise the dark will leave a mark and then I can't cover it. So it's better to start with the medium one. Now over here, if I want to shade, I can do it straight away, or I could do it afterwards when it's dry. I prefer to do it while it's fresh because I find it easier. See, I have to shade there because it's underneath the petal. And if I want, I can still go with a darker green over there and accent this. See how the paint flows? Now if I want a little bit lighter here, instead of white, I can add a little bit of green, say for yellow, I mean. Yellow, and then I can come back with a little bit of white there to highlight. Now I'm going to paint another one just for you to see. A little bit of diluent. It helps the paint to run. It's much easier for the paint to run if you use the diluent, but you don't have to, because for many years we didn't have this and it worked. Okay, now I want to separate this leaf from this one, so I'm going to put another green here to bring up this one. See? Now I have a darker, a medium, and just now I'm going to have a lighter one. I always work with a hard Bristol sanded down brush. Here I want it to be a little bit lighter, so I'm going to put another green here. If you notice, I'm not putting a lot of paint. I just add paint as I go along, making sure that I get paint at the right place. So as you can see, I have a lighter and a darker part here. So it means that this leaf is further back than this one. So now I'm going to put a tiny bit of white over here. And to do this, I just put the white on the corner of the brush. I don't fill it all with white up to here. I don't load it completely with white, just a tiny bit. Even this could be a little bit too much, but we'll try. And then I press the brush down and I do this. And with this part that has no paint, I will just brush it. And if I'm not happy with the result, I can go back. And I avoid the white going up to the petal because that's still a dark area there. See? Now you can see the difference. This leaf is in front of this one. Okay, now I'm going to paint one flower so you see how it's done. Oh, I better finish this one as well. Just forgot. So a little bit dark. Once you get used to it, it's much quicker than painting on wood. You see how I go around with the brush as well? And then I'll pick up another bit of the base color and blend in the colors well. Put a bit of white, yellow, if necessary, just to get another shade of green. And then, while it's still fresh, I'll finish it with a little bit of white. So I have now a finished leaf here. I'll put a little bit of white there as well, because I feel like it. It's not a must. You have to look at your work very well, and then if you feel that you want to put it lighter, you put it lighter. If you want it darker, you put it darker. There is no real rule for this. You just fill it in, change it as you go along. Now I'm going to paint one of these. Now I'm going to start with the medium red. This is a bright red, wow. But it will be darker just now, you will see. And now I go with the very dark one from here. See, from the middle, outwards. And a little bit more. And now I come in with the orange. See, now we have dark, medium color, and a light one. Now, I couldn't put white now here. And why not? Because if I were to put white, this would turn out pink, and I don't want that to happen. So if I want to highlight it or change the color a little bit, I'll play with the orange and the yellow. I can only put white here once it's dry. Oh, jeez, this isn't in the program. And still a little bit darker. Just now I'll put it a little bit darker. Now we go to this one again. Go to the medium red. Very, very dark here. Because it's the middle, it's the shady area. You see how I'm moving my brush? And now a little bit of orange here. I'll just pick up a little bit of diluent. It's not a must, as I said, do it, change it as you go along. Remember, I can't put any white now, otherwise it will turn pink. When it's dry, then I'll be able to do so. And it will make all the difference. And another petal, and then I'm ready to move on. Let it dry and show you the finished project, because it will just be a repetition of what I'm doing right now, and I don't want you to fall asleep. If you noticed, I haven't washed my brush since I've started painting the petals. I keep on changing one color to the other and just cleaning my brush on a paper towel I have here on the side. I don't want any water. If I want to thin down the paint, I'm going to use the diluent, not water. So let's stop now, and when I come back you'll see the project already, this part dried, and I'll apply the white, so you see how it's done. As you can see, I have finished the flower and the leaves. Now I'm going to put the dark parts here, and it's dry or almost dry, and I'm going to highlight it with the white. So I go back to the first red, which is quite dark, and from the middle outwards, because I need this part here to be dark to create volume. Should be alright. Then it's here, so you can go over if I'm not happy with the result, just shading a little bit, bringing out color a little bit more. It's all up to you. Remember, don't use a lot of red here at the end of the petals, because we're going to put white and then it's going to turn out pink. So now I'm just going to put a little bit of white to show you how I do it when it's dry. Let's hope I don't make a mess. A little bit of white, and I just lightly with the brush. Don't put too much, and don't put all around, okay? Just take the brush and swing it. See, this is enough. Just firmly do it. A little bit here. If you're not happy, you can still go back. And we do it on all of it. Just a little bit. Here I can place on the leaves. Remember just now I told you about the leaves. We can still do it here. This is a masking tape, so it will come off just now. You see how the white helps? It turns out to be a completely thing once we had the white, yellow, light colors. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to make a very, very light background, and there are two ways to do it. You can either do it with a dry brush, or you can use the diluent and then a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of paint. So I'm going to put a little bit of diluent on my brush, and just going to brush it here very lightly. See how I keep moving my brush and the position of my brush? Okay, and I'm going to take just a bit of yellow here and play with it here. You see? And we bring color to the background. Now we can either do it like this, or you can just do it with a dry brush. I'm just going to take a dry brush here. And this is how you do it. You take a little bit of the color you want, take the excess off, and then just brush it as if you were stenciling. Now this takes a little bit longer, but it works very well too. See? And one tip, don't do this all around. Sometimes we see it and it looks very ugly. Just do a little bit here and a little bit there, and this is what looks nice, you know. It's just a compliment. I'm doing it now with the dry brush. You see how it works? It works. And how I keep on moving my brush around, because if I do this I'm gonna have just brush strokes going this way, and I don't want to. I'm going to put a little bit of white there. I've just noticed I need it. See? Okay, now I'm going to put some pistils here. and we'll finish it. Alright, I have a green pen here. You see, this is it. See how the pens are good for this kind of work. It helps very much so. We could do this with black, but the green is so dark already that I'll just use it and put a dot of white on top. Here, I'm gonna put some white too. And here, I'm gonna place some white just to separate the petals. See? Just highlight it with yellow instead of white, so it doesn't shock so much. And a little bit here. Just press and swing your brush. And this is it. Just keep on doing it until you're happy with the result. Well, I really hope you have enjoyed it. Now I'm making a mess now. I shouldn't put any white there because it's turning out pink and I don't want this pink. Just want it red. It's good that these things happen, then you can see the difference. See? You see why I say that it's much easier to correct on fabric than on wood. Here we go. It's done. Now just take the masking tape now we can finish this now to just like that to look very ugly, so we can take a ruler and make a black line with the marker, with the permanent marker here, and it will look much nicer. Hope you like the project.